Hello friends, in the current video tutorial I will be talking about immutability of strings in Python. Immutability is the property of an object according to which we cannot change the object after we have declared it or after the creation of it, and this immutability in the case of string is known as string immutability in Python. Strings in Python are immutable, which means they cannot be changed after they are created. Some other immutable data types are integers, floats, boolean, etc. When we create a string variable in Python, Python creates an object in memory that contains the string. The string variable in Python does not directly contain that string. The object in memory contains that string, and the variable just contains a reference to the string object in memory. When you create another string variable with the same contents, that variable holds the same reference to the memory object created previously. Python does not create a new memory object with the same contents. This is Python's way to optimize the memory and storage. Any operation that appears to modify a string, such as concatenation, slicing, or using string methods like .replace, .upper, actually results in the creation of a new string object with the desired changes. The original string object remains untouched and can be accessed with the new object. So they are two independent objects when you try to modify a string. You cannot modify a string. Let's now see the string immutability using a program. Here is the program. Here I have created this variable hello world and another variable hello world. Both are A. Firstly, A is having hello world with the capital H, capital W. Then there is another variable which is having hello world with the small h and small w. In ASCII, capital H and small h are different. Similarly, capital W and small w are different. So when we are going to print this, they will have different IT because of the immutability, because there are two different variables, and we will see this in our results. Now I assign A to C, that means C also becomes hello world. When I assign A to C, so that becomes hello world with the small contents, means this becomes C. And then when I print the ID of C, this will have the same ID as A. Why? Because the contents are same. Again, due to immutability of strings in Python, it will try to save the memory. The object would be the same, but the reference ID would also be the same. But over here, the previous A, because of the capital H, they will have this different ID, and that will be a different object, right? But since I have assigned the same variable, so that will be new object. The previous object of the A would be discarded, and new object with the small hello world will be stored, and same will be stored to D. Now if I say the next part of the program, the next part of the program is where I write hello world again, and hello world assigned to D. Now D will have the same ID as A because the contents are same. Memory optimization, then D will have the same ID, and if I check later on, result of A equal to C, A equal to D will be verified. A is C, A is D is verified. Let's now run the program and check. So now if I browse it upwards, so this A is printed over here, hello world, capital. Now what is the ID of A? ID of A is 180 72905 14416. This is the ID over, yes, over here. Now this hello world is printed over here, and let me rub it a bit because I have hidden the ID. Now this hello world is printed over here and the ID is printed over here. Now these two are different IDs. The ID over here is 1807290600496. So these two are different IDs. This ID is different than this ID. Why? Because the contents are different. So these are two different variables. So the memory ID is different, and hence Python upholds string immutability. Next part of the program, I assign a equal to c and I see the ID. Let's see the ID. So this is c. Now ID of c is the same as the ID of a. ID of c is 1807290600496. ID of a is 1807290600496. That means a and c are having the same ID because the contents are same. That's why the IDs are same. Python optimizes the memory using the immutability concept in Python. Now next part of the program, d equal to hello world assigned directly. Contents are same as in c and as in a. If I print the ID of d and the ID of a, they will be the same. So let's see. So this is the ID of d printed over here, and this is the content printed over here. So ID of a 1807290600496, ID of d 1807290600496. The ID is same because the contents are same. Now let me check whether they are identical. So a equal to c is true because contents are same. A equal to d is true because the contents are same. A is c because IDs are same. A is d, again IDs are same. So since IDs are same and contents are same, so they are identical. So that means there is just one memory object which Python used to store small hello world, and it is giving the same reference ID to all the variables a, c and d. All the variables a, c and d have the same reference ID pointing to the same object hello world stored in memory using the Python's immutability and optimization concept. Now in another program we will see what happens if we try to modify a string. So this is the original string hello and I want to modify it. I want to change the small h to capital H. So when I try to do this, see what happens. You cannot modify a string in Python. You can create a new string, but you cannot modify a string because of the immutability. So Python says type error. str object does not support item assignment, means you cannot modify a string. Yet another way, I try to do something else. This is the original string and I want to change it to the upper, right? So when I change it to the upper, so it will create a new string, right? And new string will have a different ID and I can access the original string also and the new string also. So if I want to print the original string and the new string, they will be printed. So if I run this program, See, original string is world and new string is world. Because I have used this, that's why I have used this upper. So that is changing the original string. So when I try to change the original string, Python has to create a new string. There is no other way. There is no way in Python to change a string, right? It will create a new string. See what happens when I try to concatenate a string in Python. So A is hello world with a hyphen, H capital, W capital. Then B is another string variable where I try to make hello world using hello hyphen and world together using the plus operator, joining the strings, concatenation, and then I create another variable C by joining three other variables hello hyphen and world together to form a new string hello world, right? So three ways in which I am writing hello world. Two are using the concatenation, right? Now since A and B are just the direct assignments, so no other variables are involved, so they will have the same IDs because the contents are same. But then C1, C2, C3 are three different variables and they are combined together using the plus operator, concatenating to make the hello world with a hyphen. So you will see that ID of C is different than ID of A and B, right? As a result, A is C is false, A is B is true, A equal to B is true, A equal to C is true. Let's see, when I run this program, see, A is hello world, A is hello world, B is hello world, exactly same. Now um, C is also hello world, right? So the contents are exactly same, exactly same, exactly same. But see the ID of A 200141030391104, ID of B 2001410309104, ID of C 2001410309296. So ID of A and B are same, but the ID of C is different. So this clearly shows that when you try to make a variable by this method, it will create a different memory ID and a different variable, and that will be a different memory object. So A and B point to the same memory object, but C is pointing towards a different memory object. So there will be two memory objects, one created by A and then referenced by A and B both. Then there will be another object created by C and referenced by C. So that's all for the immutability of strings in Python. I hope you have understood the concepts and I hope you have liked this video. Thanks for watching this video.